Good morning, friends. Let us today talk about the Syrian issue. The Western nations, deliberately, for their political reasons, they disturbed all the Middle Eastern regions. If you look at the south of Turkey, you will see that Lebanon and Syria and Iraq, and you can also extend some degree to the Iran and up to the Pakistan. Pakistan was the ally of Centro Senato, the grouping in the 70s or 80s. So they exploited. Iran was also the part of that. Okay. So the 1979, when the political, upheavals took place in Iran, they was actually being were supported. The regime, Iranian regime, which is right now in the, you know, and the ruling in the country, uh, Ayatollah Khamenei and their family, who actually started rebel in 1979 in Iran. Afterwards, that was actually supported by the Western nations, particularly United States and its allies. But what led after that? They were, for their political and economic reasons, they wanted to influence this region. All the Arabian Peninsula region, including the UAE and Saudi Arabia, Qatar, everything was in the American orbit. Okay, 50, 60 years. Okay, so they actually influenced this particular region, Turkey and Iran and what is Iraq and up to the Pakistan to encircle the effect of Soviet Union. Okay, their political nefarious activities, they did it. Okay, so they crafted the policy of C2 and Senator. There is a grouping formation to actually prevent the ideological spread of socialism and what is called as the Marxist and Leninist policies of the ideology of Russians, or you can call it Soviet Union. Okay, so that they dismantle the Soviet Union for their political reasons. Okay, you just see that what is happening. There is a history about that. Okay, this is not happening in the vacuum. So they ruled the after that from the even 47. After that they were present and they exploited, and there was economic reasons for that. They wanted to extract the energy resources. They wanted to extract. They infiltrated into the local politics, as well as they wanted to extract the maximum energy resources because European Union does needs energy. So there is a one thing called as Mediterranean Sea, very much closer. They can extract from the energy resource and pump up their economic progress. So they wanted energy security. They infiltrated into the politics. That's why we are witnessing the this particular reason for their political nefarious activities. This is not happening in a vacuum. I'm saying again and again. Everything they charted out, even though UN is also United Nation is the arsenal of the Western nations. Okay, human rights, civil rights, whatever they talk about, that's very nice words. If a common person listens that they're talking about human rights and such kind of principles, but that's not the it has some degree of hidden agenda about that. This is not uh, you know for the intention. The intention is very important. They exploited their political, and this is also the civilian political right, whatever they talk about. This is also for their political reasons. They actually, for this particular world, they disturbed into the stable, well established country, into their domestic affairs. Suppose that a country like India having with many political parties, many different ideology, many different segments, many different religions, there can be some degree of feeling into some section of some constituency in India that they are being isolated. Even though Muslims are saying that I am second class citizen, So why you are sitting second class citizens? Your civil and political right is being curtailed. So they will publish the report that no, there is a second class citizen going on. There is persecution in turn to the Muslim. So the feeling, of some section will, come out. They will start revolting against the government, or some degree they will terrorize. So they do it, destabilize the country internally. So this is the crafting of these Western nations. If any institutions does so, we have Human Rights Council, we have government, we have all the mechanism to protect and ensure the civil and political rights of the people. Do you think that our government is, illegitimate government? Do they think that like that? So why they are instigating, you know, such kind of activities internally? They do it deliberately because they have nefarious activity to destabilize the country. Or if they pressure it, then these governments actually, the regional government, do seek some degree of concession from these countries. Okay, so they pressure it for their political concessions. You see the Bangladesh, you see the Pakistan. These nations are disturbed, even though they are infiltrating into India from the lands of Muslim are being persecuted or minority is being persecuted. They are writing it. They are publishing the report. Human religious freedom, ये report, religious freedom, वो report, civil report, ये वो बेवजह की बात है. You just see that what kind of activity they are propagating against India. They want to disturb the country. Okay, some segments of our society is feeling that no, we are being persecuted by the government. So majority will run the government. Okay, some degree of people are saying that no, it's Hindu government, it's BJP government, it's RSS government. These are the political agenda ideologies being propagated against the state. You must have to understand this. Try to understand, please, not to get into such kind of traps. This is the trap where a well-established country would be disturbed. Okay, they want it because if this country comes up at the global stage as a global leader, which they didn't like, so they will challenge their authority in future. So why would they look like our progress? They cannot digest. I'm not narrating it story. Just I'm telling you that that's fact. But most of our citizens don't know what is going on. You need to understand the crafting. They are hunting Adani, they are hunting our enterprises. For what purpose? They have nefarious designs against India to curtail the economic progress of India or to delegitimize Indian institutions, governing institutions. Institutions is all about the strength of democracy. If there is institutions is compromised, there is no democracy you can at all. Understand this. Delegitimize this government or the institutions. No, SEBI is not going well. SEBI is doing SEBI means Security Exchange Board of India, which does this manage the stock exchange of India. Okay, so if they delegitimize our constitutions, they are questioning our democracy. Okay, so civilian political rights they are infiltrating it. This is stabilizing our political question. They are questioning civil and political rights. I know that we have the problem. Large section of our society don't know how to live. Even though they don't know, they are living in a 1,000 year based on their ethical and moral principles. Okay, so they don't know the what are the constitution is crafted about. So there is a problem, but some sections are coming up to contain that. So there is a literacy going on in our country. Okay, so that's my issue. That's my internal issue. Nobody should ask me. Nobody should dictate me. Nobody should direct me. What should I do? I know what our affairs is, and we are uplifting millions of people out of poverty. And we are integrating. We are have achieved women, children's and uh, child, enrollment 96, 98% we have achieved. So we are going to have enlightened citizens in my future is bright. So we have a developed agenda 2047. But these nations is crafting deliberately against India. So my friends, and try to understand this, they don't like me. Okay, so for their political reasons they do it. I'm always taking this example. I want to tell my friends, countrymen, that please be aware. So they did it for their political reasons, then for their economic reasons. They wanted energy security. Okay, so the first, when they cut off the Russian, economic integration, that means the oil integration with European Union, because of the Ukraine war, they are turning towards the searching the market. They are searching market in India, want to FTA, free trade agreement. European Union want to free trade agreement. That is good, no doubt about that. But this is going on in 10 to 15 years, I think, in the past. Since then, right now, this is on and on. There is no negotiation, no settlement. Okay, so they are searching in South America. Very recently, they signed the free trade agreement with South America. Very recently, 10 days just passed. Okay, so they were since in 2 months ago, the European Union actually the first meeting took place with GCC, Gulf Nations Council. Okay, 6 member states. These are the oil energy resources regions. They want to integrate because they want to cut off the Russian oil imports. So we have to understand not to be driven by their ideology. There is a language problem. Language problem, that means cultural problems. If I speak up in the Russian language or anyway something different language, then most of the people didn't will they will don't know what I'm saying, because there is a language problem. So if you speak of English language, then entire world will listen. So the Russian justification for their war is people don't know. But the Western ideology, Western thought, Western language, they propagation, they're crafting their mental activity. We know, we do consume because we know the English. So if you don't understand the language, how you would be able to understand their crying, their sufferings, what they are saying, their voices would be unheard. So the regional language is the hegemony of this Western nations. We should understand that. Have to speak up English, no doubt about that. But we should also propagate our language or culture, because subjugation is submission. We cannot submit. Uh, we are how you are a free nations. The freedom of your conscience, the sovereignty of your conscience, your thought. You need to understand. Okay, so there is a political hunting for economic. There, uh, subjugation happens when somebody surrenders in front of somebody. So try to understand that this is a nefarious acts and conduct. Even though there is a discussion going on, the Syria issue is this and that, somebody's only thing was that this region is disturbed because of the Israel, because they want to protect the Israeli interest. Until unless Israel is not safe, the European and its allies interest is not safe. Israel is the external post of these nations. Okay, you have to understand that this is a military station for them. Okay, so they will extract the energy resource, and in future we will see that. But these nations actually, we actually uh, unable to understand what they are doing in the name of civil political EO rights, which I don't, you know, understand. So we should understand, must have to understand your government and try to understand what is your political objective, nation objective. Okay, not to be driven by the propaganda of externally propagated for malicious wish and will. So thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe it, share with your fellow friends. Thank you very much. Need your comment, suggestions. These are admitted and I accept that in full storm. So thank you very much.